First of all, good morning, and actually it is a good morning as we see what's playing out behind us. We had a fire on top of one of our cranes. Thank God that the injuries to 4 individuals were minor. The FDNY will go through the extent of those injuries. We're joined here by the full complement of our city agencies that are going to coordinate to ensure that we, number one, fully extinguish the fire. Number two, make sure that everyone in the surrounding buildings are safe and make a determination of what extent of evacuation. And number three, start the process of dismantling the crane that's on top. We're going to make sure that it's done in a very orderly fashion. As you see from the debris on the street, this could have been much worse. We are extremely fortunate, number one, that we were not during the busy time of the day. As you know, the Port Authority is here. Many of the buses move through here. We were extremely fortunate. But we're also fortunate that the men and women of FDNY and our first responders responded in such a manner and properly made the right evaluation of how to look at the fire that we were presented and the crisis we were presented, and coming up with the right effective solution to minimize any additional injuries.
And the mayor is correct. This is a good morning. This could have been a lot worse. At 7:25 this morning, we got a report of a fire in the engine compartment of the crane. And we're talking about the engine compartment above the roof line, about 45 stories up. As our fire units responded to the scene, we had a collapse. The top part of the crane, the boom, and a 16-ton load crashed to the ground. At that point, we had injuries to civilians and firefighters, but they were minor. We have 4 injuries to civilians and 2 to our firefighters. Minor injuries, one of our firefighters are having chest pains and being transported to the hospital. What we should know about this is that we work together to evacuate the buildings. Our firefighters were in the surrounding buildings, evacuated the buildings, and also stretched hose lines to the top floors. At this moment, from our drone pictures, we're able to see that most of the fire has been extinguished, but presently we have a 5th alarm assignment, over 200 firefighters and EMS personnel at the scene.
We're really fortunate this morning, but this is not a mayor who relies on luck, so it's my job and our agency's job to find out exactly what happened here. This is quick moving, don't have a lot of answers or all the answers. We will get them to you in time. We have a building under construction. It's intended to be a 54-story mixed-use building. The general contractor is Monadnock Construction. All permits for the building, for the crane operation, were pulled, operating per those permits. There was a prior unrelated incident early at the site with this contractor. When they do an excavation, they hit a Con Ed vault, but there are no other instances or incidents at this site. There are lots of people who are part of the crane operation. There's an engineer that writes up the plans. There's essentially a general contractor. There's the user. We will be looking at all of those folks. And what we intend to do, similar to post the Ann Street garage situation, we are putting in place a contract so that we will have an independent assessment as well. So the folks who were involved in the crane operation, the general contractor of the project, we're looking at all, as I'm sure you will be, we're looking at all of their histories to see what those stories are.